Welcome to the Alkalign Lifestyle podcast, where we delve into the essence of living a biologic lifestyle through mind, body, and spirit alignment. Join me as we explore the transformative power of a plant-based diet, cellular cleansing, chakra alignment, meditation, and intentional living. Discover how raising the vibration of your cells will lead to infinite health and well-being. Our episodes cover topics ranging from nutrition, sexual energy, mental health, to stress management and healthy movement and relationships. Get ready to embark on a journey towards becoming the greatest version of yourself with insights from yours truly, Fidel Snugger II, and special guests. Tune in to elevate your consciousness and embrace the alkalign lifestyle. Today, the topic is change and why change is necessary and why we all should embrace change and why we all should know who we have around us that's impacting our ability to change, because I believe our indecision towards change is what drains our batteries on the daily. And if we can get this under our control, meaning get our minds to think something and do it as soon as possible, the time that it takes for us to think a thing and take action upon it is the time that we lose our energy. So if we can understand that rather than just brainstorming, we actually brainstorm, put it down, and then we take some action on that brainstorm. So let me express why I came up with this, because today I've just been thinking about change, because I've always told myself that stagnation is like death. So rather than being stagnant, I'd rather change. I'd rather get up and I'd rather leave, and I'd rather go somewhere else or go somewhere new or just do something different. And I leave the old way and the old patterns, and I don't wait for anything. I just sit there and say, you know what? This is what I want. I'm gonna go get it. People have problems in relationships because one person wants change, one person does not want change. People have problems in, say, teamwork, right? Like if they have a team that they're playing for, or like a business, and someone has a vision and then the people on the opposite side don't have the same vision. It's not that any side is wrong, it's just that they're wrong for each other. You have to have a vision and a goal, and if you understand that who you're entangled with can stop you from achieving your dream, because you stop you from achieving your dream. So what I've seen a lot of is blaming the opposite person who does not have the same desire. So say you have a desire to go right, and right is gonna take you to, I don't know, like unforeseen abundance and riches, and in your mind, you going right is gonna give you all these things, right? A person on the opposite side may say, nah, I'd rather go left because I think left is gonna give me what I need for me. Okay, what you gotta do is detach yourself from the person that's going left and understand that they're going left because that's what they choose that's right for them. And you get up and you say, God told me to go right. The God within me said to go right. But the God within it said to go left. It doesn't have to agree with you, it has to agree with them. So once you just say, okay, you know what? Hey, you do that. That's great for you. I'm happy for you. And you decide to go right. You then, on that side that you were told to go to, that you followed your intuition, you probably get wherever you want. And at the end of the day, if they went left, they probably got wherever they want. They didn't have to go, where it had to be approved by you. I think that people have a problem with my journey has to be approved by you. My journey has to be confirmed by my partner or my, whomever, significant other. And I understood this as a hindrance. Not everyone understands this as a hindrance, but I think it's a hindrance because if you look at, people are not going to be the same. No one's going to be the same person. Now you might have people with similar interest in you, and I call this the preference set and the reference set. All right, the reference set is where I come from, what I know, like my memory, my history. But the preference set is what I desire, what I really want, like where I really want to go, where I really want to be, like that sort of thing. And if I'm looking at it from that perspective, that will shift my actual perspective, because I'm going towards a place and I'm doing the things that I chose, that I said were the right things for me, and I did it out of love for myself. So I think people have a problem with self-love. I think people have a problem with selfishness, right? And you can't change if you're not selfish. Because if you're not selfish, you won't do anything for yourself. You're just gonna be like, okay, well, the collective says I need to do this, or society says I need to be this way. But for your growth and your self-care, you have to go this way. You have to be selfish. That does not mean separation. It just means selfish means, really, to me, selfish means self-care. So if I focus on selfishness, I focus on self-care. I'm gonna see how big I can get, how strong I can get, how rich I can get, how wealthy I can get, right? How much I can accumulate for myself does not mean I'm a bad person. It just means I'm going towards accumulation because I desire to see how far can I take myself? How much can I impact? How many people can I see? How many people can I meet? How many people can I impact? Right? Like I want to know like what's possible. I think it's possible. So why not say it's possible and just put forth the effort to go do the thing? It's sad when you see people who are very talented, and this comes up with the topic of support. Like what actually is support, right? And I believe support isn't enabling. I also believe support isn't undermining or, tearing someone down. I believe that support is just honest, transparent behavior towards one person or towards another person trying to achieve a dream of some kind. If you can look at support as you're not upholding the person, you're just enhancing them. Because sometimes people have these things where they say, well, I felt like I needed to do this. But obviously you knew that this thing that they felt was probably going to be wrong and they were going to go off of a course, like off into the ditch. Sometimes you let them, but when you see the pattern that continues to repeat, you do have to say, hey, listen, you did it about 4 or 5 times the same way. You're going to get the same outcome. And if they don't believe you, then they don't believe you. Because people have this thing where, well, maybe this time, but maybe if I try it like this, no, you'll get the same result. Yeah, if you do that same thing, you're going to get the same result. That's the same pattern. It's going to be the same exact thing that you've been getting each and every time you've been doing it. So what you should look at is change it. But what I've come to understand is subconscious programming is very powerful. And you don't know that you're doing these things over and over again. You don't know that you're still behaving the same way over and over again. You got no clue. You got no idea that is you. That's really you doing the same thing over and over again, making the same choice over and over again, staying in discomfort over and over again because you don't want to push yourself outside your comfort zone to achieve more because you don't believe that you're deserving of more. So if your self-image, right, for example, if your self-image is a person that makes $4,000 a month, you will find every way to stay at $4,000 a month. You may get opportunities to serve for $10,000, for $20,000. You may get ideas that come to your head to earn $100,000, right? You'll negate those ideas so that you can go back to the original way that you were getting $4,000 a month. That's just how self-image works. It's powerful because you can't outlast the limits of your own self-image. And it's sad. What I've also noticed is that people negate their dreams and goals for the perceived love and admiration and respect of another person. So they'll say, well, I'm in love. So all of a sudden, whatever you had as dreams and goals went out the window, and you stopped what you were doing in your progress towards those goals because you wanted to now engage and tackle your energy with the person instead of going back towards those goals. Let me tell you right now, people cannot multitask. There's no such thing as multitasking in this world. There is none. You can't do it. If you're in what's called one reality, right? So you can say zeros and ones, okay? One reality would be like physical matter, like you touching a table or a chair, that physical matter. Zero reality would be, where you're in your mind thinking, okay, here, I'll give you a prime example, texting and driving. You cannot text and drive. It's impossible. You cannot text and ride a bike. You cannot text and ride a scooter. You can't text and do anything. all you can do is text. So texting and driving is stupid for various reasons because your mind has a time lag. So if you're text messaging, you're in zero reality, which is basically thinking. You're in your consciousness and awareness. You're in this realm of thinking, pulling ideas and downloading information as this current moment. You can't drive a car and text message at the same time because you have to put your attention onto whomever you're speaking to, whatever you're saying, right? So people will negate their life. They'll actually say their life isn't worth more than an emoji, a smiley face, or a, I'm angry, or something. They will literally say that their life is not worth their own attention because they're driving a machine that's like tons. Like depending on what size vehicle you're driving, that's a couple of tons that can cause mass destruction to somebody else or to yourself. But you're not thinking it's that important because you're sitting there saying, I'm texting, which is crazy when you think about it, all right? So think about if you have an aspiration to build a project that's huge, right? A huge thing, a library or something, like, or something that can be useful to a bunch of people, okay? Hundreds of thousands of people, something that can save humanity, essentially, or raise the consciousness of humanity. And you find a person whom you are attracted to, sexually, emotionally, physically, something. You stop the process of going towards building this thing because now this person has all your attention. But you were supposed to be doing this thing. You weren't told to stop what you were doing. You were told to go build this thing. Say you are, you're single and you want to have some companionship. I understand that. I mean, everybody would want that. But wouldn't you think that you would want the companionship of a person who's going to help you carry out that thing that you have to do? Or meet you whenever you get to that thing. Some people say they want somebody to help them, to on the way, right? They want the person who's there because they can trust them. That's not necessarily true. It doesn't matter if the person is there at the start or at the finish. It really doesn't. Because people can change. That's why. So what I want people to understand is that you change. When you change, then your attraction to a person whom you were attracted to before is possibly going to change as well. And that's not anyone's fault. That's just how evolution goes. You change. People change. You can't get mad at somebody for changing. You shouldn't be mad at somebody for not changing. All you gotta do is wake up every morning and say, I have evolution and growth in my attention span. This is where I'm gonna go. This is how I'm gonna put myself out here. I'm gonna be my divine self in every moment in time, point in space. No matter what, I'm not gonna stop myself for anyone because I love myself more than anything. And you should. And the people who are supposed to be in that realm with you, right? That can not only love, but they can handle what you're putting out, they'll come to be there as well. It won't make you change yourself in a way that's limiting. It'll make you upgrade yourself in a way that's evolving, okay? But what I want to really emphasize is that change is necessary, and it has to be something that's welcomed, that's ushered in. It has to be, because if you don't think of change as a great thing, you always associate it with pain. I associate change with pleasure, because if I can look at change as, oh, I have a new adventure starting, I have a new thing that's coming about, right? It doesn't matter if the persons that were there physically are still there, but what does matter if the persons that are there physically have the same level of consciousness and awareness and are on the same frequency. If they're still the same consciously, then that's where the problem lies. Because physically, it changes with their consciousness changes. If you consciously, how I put this? Say you now understand that seed oils are bad for you in your diet. Because they make your tummy hurt, they get inflammation inside your stomach, they make you hold on to excess fluid, or they make you fat or something. And you just cut them out your diet, boom. That's it. They're not good for me, done. That's a change in your consciousness. So do you think that your body will reflect that change? I would err on the side of yes, it would change. Say you decided running every day moves the lymph through your system, enhances your endurance and your oxygen flow, increases your stamina. I think you also, if you came to find a 12-week program or something like that, where you just started to run consistently, I believe after 12 weeks, you would look completely different because there was a change in your consciousness about running. You decided that this is now a good thing that associates pleasure with because it makes me look good and feel good. So there would be something that changes on the outside. If the inner world in your head, in your heart, and just in your psyche, your consciousness changes, if that changes, the outer world that you have will also change 100%. Because if it doesn't change, then you never actually changed the consciousness because you never decided to go a new way. So what I'm saying is indecision is what drains somebody's energy. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go here? Should I stay? Or should I go? Or should I find someone here? Or should I just not even worry about finding somebody? Just go do what I'm supposed to do. If you just start to look at it from a different perspective, you realize that all your energy drain is because of a lack of a decision being made. So you should just probably make a decision. And don't be sad, don't be mad, don't be upset about the choice that you make. Just sit there and say, you got it. Whatever you decide to do, you got it. Whoever's gonna be there along with you, or whomever you're gonna be at the end, you got it. Just do what inherently makes you feel good. And waiting does not make anybody feel good. Because if you're waiting, you won't actually be in your true authentic divine self. It's impossible. You can't be your true self if you're waiting for something. Because that means that you're not even expressing your energy, your attention to go get it. When they say you're supposed to act as if, right? You're supposed to fake it till you make it. But what that really means is this: you're setting up environmental factors in the field, the energy field around us. And you're shaping the energy field around you to basically shape life around you from the factors that you're putting in. So you're saying, I want to be attractive to people. I want to be on billboards, and I want to be, just somewhat of a motivational thing for young people or old people or just people like in general. I'm going to cover magazines, right? Me. I want to be that guy. I want to be that R girl, right? So you decide, I'm going to just now go to the gym. I'm going to train myself. I'm going to do all these different things so I can achieve that goal of being on the magazine cover and being on billboards. All of a sudden, you started to say, I'm setting up the environmental factors for me to achieve the goal of what I want to achieve. If you just sit there and say, I'm going to be on the billboard, I'm going to be on Mental Health magazine, and you just be sitting on the couch, eating potato chips, drinking soda all day long, you're not really giving the field anything to work with. So I don't know how you're going to achieve that goal. That's not it. You want to go start a new business, but you didn't just open up the LLC. How are you going to start a new business? When are you going to do it? It goes from thinking and doing to being. If you can do it in a fast way, thinking, doing, being, where it's like, it doesn't take you, I thought about this idea, 6 months is going to go by before you make the phone call to figure out how to do it. Or maybe I can get a course on it or something, but I'm going to look at it maybe next year, right? Because I thought about, say I'm fixing my credit, right? There's courses out there to fix my, say I'm raising my consciousness, say I'm changing my diet, I'm eating more plant-based, right? Anything, absolutely anything. You thought about it, you wrote it down. This is what I'm now doing this. But then you didn't get up and do anything. So how are you going to become that if you didn't get up to do anything? You thought about it, that's great. But until you actually put the action behind it, there is something that you're going to get. It'll be the same. And you'll actually be more depressed and sad and anxious because you put now the new self-image right here, but you're pretending to do these, not pretending, you're actually doing things. So you're just pretending now because you're still doing the same habits as the old self-image. So now you're just going to keep on increasing this gap. This gap is going to keep on increasing. You're going to keep on getting more sad, and life is awful, and life sucks, and all this stuff because you don't want to move. So it's on you. You can't have true enlightenment, purification. Your cells can change, right? You can go to cleanse your cells. I have 2 herbal formulas that basically format your cells. That means they give all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, they release them all back into the bloodstream. Those are all through a cycle bin. Yeah, now you can deal with them or you can release them. Once you do that, you deal with them and you release them, you're still required to put something brand new inside of it. If you don't, you're just gonna go back to the old being. So from the time it takes from you to cleanse yourself and then throw in a new program, right? Seed a new program, plant something brand new. So now it can come into the roots can grow into your head. And now the tree develops inside your body. If you don't do that immediately, you're gonna have these periods of depression that you're participating in. It does not exist. Anxiety does not exist. Nothing about any of that exists. It's based upon your expectations for people outside of yourself. That's what that mainly is. You want something to occur. You want somebody to be a Hall of Famer, right? In their work ethic, in their attention, in their discipline. But they don't want to be a Hall of Famer. They just want to be pretty good. That's okay. Because to them, that's the level that they desire, that makes them feel good, that makes them happy. Your level may not be that. That's okay. So once you understand that that's okay, you uplift yourself and then you put yourself out there as the high performers or the high achiever or the one that are the Hall of Famer, and you meet other Hall of Famers, other high achievers, and then you realize that like attracts like. It does. Like attracts like. And if there's friction or if there's tension or if there's, resistance, it's because it's not like. It's like on one side and then something is not in like. That's not it. So you may be a person that has an attitude towards things that say, I set and accomplish my goals, right? And the other person says, I set goals, but I don't know about the accomplishing part. But I set them, okay? Like I set them, but I'm not necessarily as committed as the other person that says I'm gonna go 100% go do them. No. So what you do is you make it where it's okay and it's necessary okay. You make it to where it's necessary for you to go around the individuals that seed you and that feed you and that bring you to a new place and to a new way. You don't just sit there and, think it's okay for you to stay stuck here or stay stuck right there. You can choose wherever you put your attention to, because your energy is going to flow wherever your attention is going to go. And you're the person that's controlling where your energy or your attention is going to go. It's you. You're controlling where your attention is going to go. So if you decide that my attention is now going to go on, I need to be the wealthiest version of myself, you're going to find every avenue for you to achieve that in a great way. But somebody else may not make that same choice. So I'm talking about this specifically for relationships, because I understood this from our own relationship, that many times I was not on the same wavelength in terms of frequency as my partnership. Some people have partnerships where they want to be competitors. Some people have partnerships where they want to be teammates. And somehow it can work. Some people, let me see how good I can do and how good they can do. And maybe that turns them on a little bit from each other. Some people would rather have it where there's a team, where it says, I want this person to be my teammate. So when I put this thing, we help each other to make our goals achieved. Some people can say, I want like a employee boss relationship. Whatever works. I'm the boss of the household, they're the boss of the company. Okay, some people, however it works for you, you'll figure out however it works. And then from that perspective, you'll make it happen. But you have to know which one you're aligned with. You have to know which one suits you and just be honest. Don't try to fit into something that does not suit you, because you can't do that. That's not gonna work. If you try to fit into what does not suit you, that's not like attracts like. You're going against your heart because you don't want to, maybe because you don't want to be by yourself. But maybe you need to be by yourself. See? So what I'm expressing is, if you can't get somebody else on the same page as you, Okay, well, maybe you need to evaluate what it is that you really want out of life and then go that way. Because it's really ridiculous to think that you can have one person that's responsible for all these different needs, okay? Mental needs, emotional needs, physical needs, sexual needs, spiritual needs, financial needs. You know, what you can't have just one person to fill all these gaps in if you don't have any clarity on them. If you have some clarity, then you can actually probably find that. If you have some clarity, meaning you know what it is in terms of a number, you know what it is in terms of your physical goals, how you aesthetically want to look, you know how it is in terms of emotional goals, how you want to be able to communicate, you know how it is in terms of spiritual, where how you're looking at life, okay, your vibration, your frequency. You understand these things, and you have full clarity on this thing. You can attract a person like that directly. They just walk on the shelf and pick them off the shelf. But you have to put in all the parameters, okay? That's the part that people don't actually take the time to do, is to look at all the parameters and say, this is the thing, this is the person, this is what I desire. If you don't do that, if you don't come up with the concept that says, this is the thing, this is it, and really be honest with yourself, saying that this is it. I want to live here. The person that I'm currently with does not want to live here. So I'm never going to get to go because they don't want to go with me. No, that's not it. You actually have to say, this is where I'm going to go. I don't believe in taking a loss. I don't believe in that. Because as long as you go, you may find out that you actually don't live there at all, but you have to go try to experience it. You have to go try to go see it, at least, to feel it. That's what this life is for you to go to experiment. So you can't take away the opportunity for you to go to experiment with the self, because that's not fair to you. So don't do that to yourself. Go take the time to get up and experiment with what you need out of life, and then life will basically reflect back to you the frequency that you're putting out. You don't have to have one thing. You don't have to have one place, one car forever, one house forever, take one trip a year. Like, you don't have to do that. You can do that whatever you want, however much you want. But it's going to give back to you what you're putting into it. Okay, so if you don't look at it from a golden rule perspective, all right, life is going to answer you based on what you're giving out. Okay, and if you look at it again from that perspective, you start to make different choices. You start to live with intentionality. You don't just start to go Tinder swiping. Okay, you don't just start to go match up. I want this person in my life because they look good, or because she has nice ass and her eyes are pretty, or he has nice abs and his arms are big. You don't start doing stuff like that. You actually sit there and say, I want this person who's conscious. I want this person who's wealthy. Mindset, not in terms of their wallet and their pocketbook, in terms of their mindset. Because their mindset determines what their pocketbook's going to be anyway. And so it's their mindset. And also a person that's growth oriented, a person that not only, they maybe take care of themselves, they have a lot of self-care, they're very selfish when it comes to taking care of themselves, but not in terms of separation. Because there's only so much that you can do. Okay, you can have a 4,000 square foot house, but you'll get really tired walking around that 4,000 square foot house. Because 43,000 square feet, just above 40,000 square feet, is about 1 acre. So, you can enjoy yourself if you want to. You have some good exercise, but you'd be really alone if you're in a big old giant castle by yourself. You want to have a big old giant castle full of animals, or, some kids, or family members, stuff like that, great. But it won't be any fun if you just entangle yourself with just yourself. You want to be able to give it out and share it with other people. So what I'm really saying is you have to fill up your cup first before you go and pass your cup out to everybody else. No, you should always look at it in terms of, you're going to get what you ask for. That's going to be the surprise. You're always going to get what you ask for. How you get what you ask for, you don't know. But you'll get what you ask for. That's a guarantee. You'll get what you ask for, 100%. So look at your life as a printout of your own subconscious programs. How you look at life, how you think about yourself, how you view change. But how you view change is very, very powerful. it's a very, very profound thing for you to associate change with pleasure. Because if you associate change with pleasure, then you realize that you're in alignment with how the universe works. Because everything's constantly changing. There's no time and point in space that's going to be the same as the next time and point in space. It's always going to be constantly changing. So if you can be a person that's constantly evolving and shifting in that way, where you're allowing things to come and you're flowing, free flowing, right? Just like the ocean, constantly flowing, constantly moving, constantly waving. Okay, let's not look at those ocean waves. So let's look at the ocean waving. In case you didn't understand how conscious language works, that's how the Hopi Indians used to speak. Okay, it's how, there's a book by Robert Tennyson Stevens. It's called Conscious Language. So if you haven't learned about language in that regard, you should pick it up. What he talks about is basically being intentional about how you speak and saying things based on what they really are. It's always speaking in the present tense. And that's what positive present tense is. I'm earning, I am having, I'm living, I'm driving, I'm speaking, I'm thinking, I'm feeling. That's why I am so powerful, because once you attach whatever it is after that, that's what you become right then and there. So you should always look at yourself and say, I'm speaking in terms of joy. It's joyful for me. Speak in terms of joy. If you don't do that, you have a problem. So what I really, truly have come to understand about myself, which helped me understand about life, is that everything's constantly changing. All I do is be observant of it and look at it, and keep paying attention to it, and keep looking at things and keep being aware of things. And that's gonna just shape my entire outlook on life in a different way. And when I began to accept, it is what it is, okay? But not in a way that just says, it is what it is, and I have to surrender to it, and I have to be upset about it. No, it says it is what it is, and I'm grateful that I ain't gotta be the person that's controlling all the traffic flow in California, in Los Angeles, California. I ain't gotta be worried about every car on the 405 or on the 101 or on the 10. Like, I just worried about myself and put out the best version of myself that I possibly can be. And in response to that, the field will reflect back to me whatever I'm putting out. But I understood that, it shifted my entire perspective. So I'm only going to draw into my own existence people who are essentially me, because like attracts like. So I should look at it from the perspective of, if I want harmony, I can create it. If I desire harmony, if I desire balance, I can create it. And I should, because if I don't, I'm gonna miss out. But if I do, I'm gonna gain. So again, it's just based on me. It's all based on me. So change is great. If you look at change from a perspective of, change can do a whole lot for you and climb the ladder and move you forward. You can do it brick by brick, or you can do quantum leaps. Quantum leaps mean you just take yourself aside, be quiet for a little bit of time, study for a little bit of time, get to your imagination place and use your imagination to project yourself into a brand new space, and then you'll attract yourself right to that new thing. And that's like saying, I remember being homeless. I didn't have a place to sleep at night. All I just kept doing was writing down my affirmations in terms of my habits, in terms of how I appeared. So my smile, wrote habits about smiling, wrote affirmations about my body language, wrote affirmations about really my perception of the world. Because if I can change that, then my world will change. And all of a sudden, within months' time, years' time, I'm now in a different place. Now I walk outside and I can go run the boardwalk in front of the ocean. But prior, it wasn't like that. Prior, I couldn't even have food for myself or my dogs to eat. So once you get to that perspective, you're like, well, wait, I had to go down in order to come up though, right? Because if I want to make a huge impact, you have to go, the energy must go down, okay? So that you can have the strength to then come back up. This is how life works. Life goes in waves like this. Okay, this is death, which is this flat line. So you may be having a steady rise like that, but if you look at a star chart, right? Go to like a 20-minute, like I trade futures in the mornings, okay? If you go like a 20-minute, it'll have like a steady climb like this. But if you actually could put it on like 5 minutes or 3 minutes, something like that, or even 1 minute, it looks like this. And it might be going down on this 5-minute chart, when in 20 minutes, it says overall it's been going up. So you're still going up in life, okay? Because this chart is telling you that overall, from the 1 month perspective, or from the 1 week perspective, for the 1 month perspective, from the 1 year perspective, it's been going up. But now you start to actually zoom into it, and you're like, oh, wait, they got all this stuff going on, all this little stuff going on. Yeah, that's how life is. You don't even look at your life like that, but people should. You've been going up this entire time. You're looking at the parts where, oh, well, I'm so sad I don't have anything, and that. Yeah, but you didn't have nothing prior to that either that you got now. You wasn't in that same place mentally. You was probably sick. You probably wasn't feeling good. Your vibration was low. Now you purified. Now you cleanse. Now you clean. No, man, stop looking at it like that. You supposed to have some constant, like I'm supposed to be all good, all great. That's not how it's supposed to work. No, that's not how it works. That's not how life works. It's not. If you don't have this right here, these squiggly lines right here, up, downs, trials, tribulations, successes, failures. Failures are not actually failures. They're just whatever you just did for that didn't work. That's what a failure is, you quitting. If you just quit and don't do it, then okay, well then shit, then you failed. But if you just keep on going, you're going to achieve the finish line. 100%. But that's it. That's energy. See? So when you look at life energy different ways, it's a different way, and look at change, again, associating change with pleasure. Don't worry about if you need to leave and your spouse doesn't want to go with you. You might have to leave them. Start a new life. If they don't want to make the decision, no problem. But you aren't in prison. You aren't in jail. You're free to do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. If you think yourself as a victim, then be one. That's on you. You made that choice. I'm telling you that you're free. Okay? So be free. Make those choices that set you free, whatever those are. And send them away with love, not hatred. The only person that has hatred is you for yourself. So don't ever send someone energy that you would not want to receive from someone else, because they're just going to have a mirror reflection of you. Once you become a bigger person, you don't send them it. You just send everybody love, kindness, respect, unconditional love and gratitude, and you wish the best for them, because you would desire that they wish the best for you too. All right, so look at change as a wonderful thing. I've come to this perspective in my life, and it's just made my life a profound impact on my life, to make my life so much better. And I'm so grateful that I'm here at this point right now, today. So until next time, thank you for tuning in to another insightful episode of the Alkalign Lifestyle podcast. Hope you found today's discussion enlightening and empowering as you continue on your journey towards a healthier and more balanced lifestyle. Remember, small changes can lead to significant transformations in your well-being. Stay tuned for more expert insights and practical tips on living the alkaline way. Peace.